come on. Come on, Keenan. Up. Your hand went for the handle, empty foot in. Come on, let's see it. Easy, come on. There's two more there, come on. Up, one more. Get right under him, that's it. Come on. He's got it. Oh shit. Come on, let's see it. Black ones on the bit too. Get the Bobby out. That's not Bobby, that's Troy the gardener. Come on. Easy. Keep it going, come on. Come on, Kieran. One more, come on. Up. 3 then, or just 2. Hold yourself, let's see it.
4th time. I keep videoing it and it just sounds like a cock. And all my good friends will be watching this being like, you still are a cock. Yeah, so did legs yesterday with the boys, Ryan and Dylan. Through flex unit again. So although this is week 1 of my program, I do all my programming, all my training myself, and just kind of Andy and myself kind of have input, or he has input. Like we kind of go between each of us. I have a rotation between 1 week to week 1, week 2. The main difference is week 1, I have 2 chest and shoulder sessions. One main reason is the movements I do in them aren't as taxing, so got my nice manly dog book here. See, now it looks like I've prepared for this and I know what I'm doing, but I'm not. Yeah, so like I'm only really doing 1 free weight compound on push 1 and 2. I didn't do push 2 this week, or push number 2, chest delts number 2 this week, because I did back the day before and I felt like a fucking boss had me. Again, another reason why I rotate things. So on week 1, I do really heavy deadlifts on my back session at the end, and then on week 2, I do 2 back sessions. One of them still has a lower back loader, like a deadlift. It's a Yates deadlift or no touch deadlift, but I only have 1 set and my weight is still 20-30 kilo lighter than my top set normal deadlifts. I just find it's not as taxing on my nervous system, but I also do like a barbell row in it, so it's not. So I'm able to do a little bit like more taxing movements because I'm not doing the deadlift. I guess to compensate for it, to balance it out. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at training. Like if you got a big hitting movement in it, you can't do too many like that. You couldn't like. I guess it depends on your strength and your own recovery capabilities. But I wouldn't like to give someone like a hack squat, a lunge, and a back squat, or like a barbell back squat in the same session. Like if that's a leg session, just too much going on. It's a lot of stress on the body. Where's the fucking thing? Yeah, so in week 2, which I'll be starting as of tomorrow, tomorrow will be back, Wednesday will be push. So in that session I do incline barbells and seated barbell press, and I'm thinking about adding on a close grip press just because on my arm day I don't do any free weight stuff because it smashes fucking my elbows. On the push day I'm already doing something like that, so I may as well do that. And it means I could drop my second, whatever that would be, compound. I should know this off the top of my head, but I like winging stuff. That's meant to be dips. Yeah, so I'll probably just do a close grip press. We've got like a football bar at work, so we'll just use that. But yeah, so leg training. Because it's very similar sessions, I will just tweak the rep ranges, what we do. And I think Flex Unit get a pendulum squat soon. So, and I'm really enjoying squatting at the moment. So what I might start doing is do 1 all-out set on that when that comes, and then do 2 higher rep sets on the squats just to make sure I'm squatting. My main aim is to get up to like a 260 squat. I say before I start prep, but I've got an 18-week cycle starting meant to be tomorrow, most likely be a week time, just because that'll be when I have everything, and I've got OCD and I'd like to start when I've got everything in place. Yeah. So, yeah, I want to focus on squatting. But yeah, the week before, I think we'd done 3 sets of like 10 to 15 and then high rep rest pause for calves. Yesterday we did 2 high rep sets, normal, and then 2 low rep rest pause sets. For calves, I like doing them at the start. My big pal Taylor Johnson, big beautiful bastard that he is, completely disagrees with me. I just do it because when I do calves at the start, I'm not fucked going into legs. Whereas I do legs and then do calves at the end, I'm fucked, and I'd rather just go home. Yes, it's very lazy. That's me. And Hunter Brada does it, and he's got some big old calves. Sushi rice is the fucking OG of rices. Yeah, started yesterday. Adductors, because what's a set of legs if you don't have big adductors? My training is very simple, but fuck it, I'll talk about it. Big Ham Thrall says I should. So yeah, so 2 sets of adductors, 1 low rep set, 1 high rep set. I won't say I max output and a deload because I don't deload on the high rep set, I just do more reps and a lower weight. Or a back off. I wouldn't really call it a back off because in terms of intensity, the intensity isn't backing off, I'm just doing more reps. But that's usually the term people use. Single leg curl, 1 set was sub-max and this other was max output. That's purely because when you go heavy on that machine, particular one we're on, when you go heavy and you go to muscular failure, or you try to get to that, you get mechanical failure first. Basically what I mean in mechanical failure means your form breaks down. When your form breaks down, to get to muscular failure becomes a lot harder. So if I said, right, I want to go from Edinburgh to Fife before my car runs out, but the bridge falls apart. That bridge falling apart is stopping me getting to Fife. So the bridge falling apart is the mechanical failure. That makes sense in my head. So yeah, so when I go heavy on that machine, as soon as I feel my hips tilt, which is basically the start of the mechanical failure, like your glutes and your hamstring are wanting, your glutes and your lower back are wanting to take over for your hamstring, I just stop because it's everything else working but my hamstring. Then we did squats, like set of 5 to 7 and then a minging set of 15 to 20. For all you that hear that and like, oh fuck that, that's hard. It's probably why I've got bigger legs than you. It's probably why my clients have bigger legs than you. My female clients. That can shoulder press with 1 arm. They're bigger than you because you don't do high rep stuff. And then from there we went back to line leg curl, 2 sets. Low rep normal set and then a high rep failure set. So we did like 20 and then extended it with partials. Purely because in the line leg curl position, where you're weaker is where it's stretched. So I like to take advantage of that because in a lot of hamstring machines, especially the one that I've been using for the majority of the year, at my work, the seated leg curl, when your hamstring is weakest, it's at the bottom when it's fully contracted. It's purely just purely just the setup of the machine. If I've got any of that wrong, comment or let me know, and I'll say I was wrong. But yeah, I find that's where on a seated leg curl you're weakest. You're weakest at the bottom, at the top you're really strong, and then on a lying leg curl you're really weak at the bottom, but getting it right up is quite easy. So that's why I like extending it with partials. Purely because it's fucking painful. And then from there we did rest pause and leg extension, 1 set. Horrible. The key with those is don't be a little bitch and lean back between the rest pause sets and just breathe through it. That's where it's painful. And then from there we did dumbbell stiff legs. Same again, sub-max set, max output. Just because we're doing, like I explained last week, doing a lot more pardon me, doing a lot more hamstring work compared to quads. So I think I'm only do that like, direct, in my opinion, quad work. I'm only doing 4 working sets. So those working sets are like actually max output, let's bust a fucking nut. Whereas my 8 hamstring sets, about 4, maybe 6 of them, 4 of them, are sub-max, and the other 4 max output. In the video you'll see me, I've used the squat stands, I've just spun them around and raised my heels, my toes. I do that purely because it kind of pushes your hips back and tilts your knees forward. E.g., client Dylan does this all the fucking time. You don't have to get deep, or as deep, to find that stretch. So you can bring like all the way down so your hands are like just about your knee, just a little bit lower, and you'll get that huge stretch as long as you keep really emphasising your hips, kicking out. Like if that's my hips are going to like there rather than there. I really feel a massive difference using those. I can still go quite heavy. That's my lower back and my glutes taking over. So again, that's why I've got my heels raised, because otherwise everything else will take over. My toes raised, apologise. That's why I have my feet raised, toes raised, because everything else will just get taken over. My glutes and my lower back will just take over from my hamstrings. And the leg press, 1 big set and then we're done. Cracking. Yeah. My training is very simple. I like it that way because if something goes wrong I can figure out why. Whether I've not progressed and say like my chest hasn't developed as enough or what, and I can look back and oh well, I wasn't doing enough chest volume across a week. Or whatever, or if I've got like an injury or a niggle, as I call it, bad elbow or something, I can kind of look at my training and see what joints are getting pounded more than others, just from the crossover. Again, that is also why I do a 2-week rotation. There we go, finally got there. It's to give my body a break. Like I'm 23, but I've had not any major injuries. Knock on wood. But I've got pretty bad elbow tendonitis and pretty bad right knee, hence the damaged tissue. It's multitask. Yeah. What did you say? Yeah, I got damage tissue on my knee. So, for being 23, I've not had the best run of like being fresh and not picking up injuries. When I'm older, I don't want to be absolute fuckled. So that's why I'm gonna try to science it out with my program, just to not make anything worse and not to pick up more injuries. It's been working so far. At the back end of that last cycle, when I was really pushing my strength up, and I was at top end strength, I was only doing like 3 sessions a week. 3-4 sessions a week because I was just finding it going so intense and I'm moving so much weight that doing that one extra session just fucks me. It just means I can't recover from everything else. As long as everything's accurate, like you feel everything, you're fine. That is one thing I see a lot, especially on Instagram, is like people doing like rotations this or talk about reps in reserve because Jordan Peters started doing it, or they're doing snatch grip because it's how Jordan Peters do it, or fucking doing like crazy heavy shit, or like really, what's the word? Like advanced exercises, I guess I'd call it. purely because they've seen some famous bodybuilders do it, but what they forget is that bodybuilders been doing the basics for 10, 15 years. So that's why you've not seen me do snatch grip deadlifts. Because I'm not maxed out my deadlift. For you fuckers that are doing 120 kilo snatch grip deadlifts and like pendulum squats, but you can't fucking squat 200 kilo, check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's all I'm saying. I just don't get it. And also mind muscle connection comes into this a lot. So if you're changing exercises all the fucking time, you're not going to progress on them. You might get stronger in them, but you're not going to make that mind muscle connection to make the muscle contract maximally against that resistance to force it to adapt, and then to make it bigger, for it to hypertrophy itself. Getting all sciencey on you, but yeah, that's why I've got a lot of clients that are just, they don't have any rotations. It's just like 4 or 5 sessions a week, and they're going to be on that for like a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, and it's to build up those neuromuscular patterns, so that when they're doing a dumbbell press, they feel their chest contracting and they feel it, and they're like, oh shit, I don't feel that. Because otherwise, if you don't feel it, it's not working. It's not going to work for you, mate. So, sadly, there's a lot of levels to this bodybuilding fitness shit, and like to complete one level, that could take you 2 years, that could take you 3 years, take you 6 months, it depends on the person. But if you're missing a lot of these simple steps, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So if you're not building up like those neuromuscular pathways on your basic exercises, like if you can deadlift 3-4 plates and feel your whole back contract, if you can roll 100 kilo, and bar roll 100 kilo and feel everything in your back contract, as soon as you start doing machine work, you're not going to have to struggle. You won't struggle for that mind muscle connection. You won't struggle for that, for the neuromuscular pathways to fire, because you've done it on an exercise that's harder to find it. Same like a dumbbell press, or like a chest press, or a fucking barbell press, or a squat, or dumbbell shoulder press. If you're able to feel said muscle group or muscle fully contract maximally on these basic free weight exercises, as soon as you move on to machine work, you're laughing. You've done it. You've solved it. You've cracked it, because you don't have to do anything when you go into machine work. You just fucking move the weight, and you're like, oh shit, that's contracting. I think that's why as soon as I started doing this style training, I progressed so quickly. Because I'd been doing volume for so long, so that like I didn't have to think about, oh shit, this is how this contracts, this is how that contracts. I mean, obviously everyone will need to like dial things back every now and again to like make sure things are contracting, but that's about it. So it boggles my mind when I see all these people like doing like either different exercises all the time, or like really advanced exercises when they've not mastered the basics. Like you see it all the time, get big on the basics, get big on the basics. Like, unless you're genetically gifted and you've been doing volume training, like 4 sets of 10, 3 sets of 15, basically what like Sean Rhodes and all the pros do. If you've been doing that for 6 months and you've not exploded, like you've not went from like wee average Joey to the thing from Fantastic Four in 6 months, a year, you're not genetically gifted. I'm sorry, you're just not. The thing is that all those pros, all those top 10 pros you're thinking of, like Luke Sando, fucking Eden Valliere, Flex Lewis, Phil Heath, Ronnie, Jade, that all happened to them. You look at their first year training, it's fucking bonkers. And that's the difference. It doesn't mean you can't go far, it doesn't mean you can't get big, it just means you need to do that in a different way, different process. That's it. I actually dropped some good knowledge there. It wasn't me just chatting shite. I mean, it's me chatting shite with some country music playing, but that's fine. Everyone loves a bit of country. Yeah. So, I'm actually hoping to film my chest and shoulder section on Wednesday, and then I'll just talk about it that morning, and I'll post it at the weekend. I'm trying to get one a week. Yeah. If you've watched any of this and you're like, oh, this little midget, he's got a right, he's onto something. He kens his shit. He kens his crack. Message me, and if you want to start coaching with me, do. Yeah. Subscribe, like, share, because